Hi, I'm Claire, and I'm taking a class at MVS. We're studying Eric Fromm, A Man for Himself. And really, the basis of this class is to learn to become pilots of our own psyche, ourself, and understand relationships better because they come in all shapes and sizes and last for undeterminable amounts of time. And this week, we watched a TED video by Chimamanda Adichie on TED, and it was The Danger of a Single Story. And when I was looking through my Fromm book, I discovered that her Danger of a Single Story related to the relatedness that man connects with. So here's an excerpt from Eric Fromm's book. Both forms of relatedness are not open and Both forms of relatedness are open and not. As with the animal, instinctively determined. Man can acquire things by receiving or taking them from an outside source or by producing them through his own effort. But he must acquire and assimilate them in some fashion in order to satisfy his needs. So, we tend to relate ourselves, ideas, and experiences to concepts or truths, but more often they're concepts than the actual reality of the situation, which then leads you away from experiencing the here and now, which when I was in the India Buddhism immersion at my school, we really focused upon that part and how you need to put others before self, but in doing that, you're also allowing those concepts of that single story that you may have experienced that's really incomplete. You get rid of that and you put yourself in the experience, the moment, that point in time where you're in a different place and learning. And I feel like MVS has done that a lot for us. Is you can't get away with, well, at certain points you can get away with it, but you can't get away with using what you already know, but you need to experience the moment that you're in to learn and truly learn what is going on. So Chimamanda talked about the danger of a single story, and there's a need for us to be aware of different stories. Stereotypes or ideas or that single story, that single experience, or the problem with them is that they're incomplete and they are only one. It's only that one moment of time that you have to define this whole vast and constantly changing environment or person or place, whatever. And it's possibly an incorrect single story that it could be focused upon. You can either see what you want to see or make yourself aware of the other stories and the other changes that are happening. Life is constantly changing, and some people, myself included at times, view it only in one way that makes you unaware to what is really happening. So when I went to India, we went to India and Nepal for a month. And yes, we saw poverty. We also saw people with businesses constantly working, or children playing or going to school, or hear the Dalai Lama speak in person and talking about being in the here and now and bringing yourself to a place of learning and change. And you can choose to see what you want to see, or you could try and look at the bigger picture, which a lot of people have a hard time doing, and understanding that each situation is different. No one is the same. Just like a snowflake, they're all different. And when I came back from India, everyone was like, oh my gosh, did you see all the poverty and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. All this poverty. And that's like the only thing they could focus upon. And that's what Chimamanda felt when she went to Mexico. She was like, oh, poverty in Mexico. And then she noticed that, wait, it's not all poverty. There's people laughing and children playing and people having dinner with their families and having a good time and living their lives. And she was so ashamed that she had only believed in this single story versus seeing it for what it actually is. And when I went to India, I tried to not believe, oh, everyone's going to be so poor. This is all going to be like so overwhelming. And at times it was, but it was not all poverty and all distress and inadequate education systems and everything. These people were living their lives, and they're so focused upon really achieving that different level. So many students that we have seen like come from India or go to school in India are some of the smartest people you'll ever meet. Obviously, poverty is not affecting their goals in life, and they might not even experience it. It's not to say that that doesn't happen, but it's something that is relevant. And we need to avoid that incompleteness. We need to focus upon how there is always a different situation. There's always something changing. There's always something new. What might be relevant or you could relate to at that point might be totally different within an hour or the next day or a year, however long it takes. So with Maslow's pyramid, we need to work towards self-actualization and motivation, and then you can truly relate yourself to evolving differences in your life and others. It's when I came back and people asked me about the poverty in India, I was like, you know what? It is what you want to see. You can choose to see it as what you want to see, or you can choose to take that moment and that amazing country and put it upon yourself to look at each aspect and see how that changes and how that works. You can compare it with your own home to like kind of give you an idea of what you think, but it's really just putting yourself in that experience and bringing yourself to the truth of what is actually happening. Not what people have previously focused upon, or one part. That one part always changes. So I encourage you all to try and look at the bigger picture and not just see what you want to see, but see what is there. And just kind of, as I am as well, work towards experiencing life with a fresh set of eyes. In my Taekwondo, one of the like mantras that we say is Mushen, which is empty mind, and Choshin, which is beginner's mind in Korean. And it's taking an empty space that is smart and learning and using that knowledge to help you move further. But it's empty and it's in that state of, okay, I'm in a new experience. I'm going to take this as if I'd never heard anything else about it. Knowledge of like the country and whatever, but I'm going to learn from what is now and what is here. So thank you so much, and bye.